He was like, I think I'll just stay and have a drink. I said, oh, is this about to be a game? And then when she played that, I said, oh, game over, my guy. Game over. Demola, you have lost. Welcome back in, everyone. This is Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today is all about Love is Blind UK Season 2. We are going to be talking about the first 4 episodes that just dropped this week. So if you have not watched those, save this video, come back once you've watched. I am Victoria. I am one of your hosts, and I'm a psychologist.
And I'm Kamaria. I'm an attorney and a pop culture writer. So let's get into, before we talk about the couples, how do you feel about the season based on the drop of episodes that we received?
Yeah, I think the main thing I was looking forward to was just seeing some of the other people from the cast photos. Like, I wanted to see Yolanda, and I forgot another lady's name that I was, expecting to see. But of course, they choose based off of who ends up, getting coupled up and who seems like they're going to be good for the season. I think the producers have mentioned several times that Love is Blind, like the show kind of cast itself. So there's that, but it just felt like we was back in the pods watching pods.
No, so this my beef with them, because I do feel like they should show everybody in the beginning a little bit. Like I feel like that first episode, it needs to feel like we're in a bar. Like ooh, like they might be this person, they might couple up. Oh, I like this energy. Like show us the misses, show us the hits. I like that aspect of it. I don't think they did enough of that for this season, and I think they like zero in too much on like certain couples too early. It's like they told us who were coupling. I wanted to see a little like I just wanted to see it a little bit, get to know everybody. So I agree with you. I would have liked to see more people, and like you said, Yolanda, she was the one they did her the most dirty, except Magean, the redhead.
Yeah, Yolanda and Magean, those are the ones that they did dirty with the pictures. Yeah.
Yes. And so I would have loved to see a little bit more of all the ladies and all the guys too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even like the first couple episodes, there were like couples that they focused on as like these two, and then in later episodes they focused on others. I'm like, give us everybody's kind of like stories simultaneously and let them all get to like, a yes relatively towards the latter end of the first drop of episodes. So
yeah, no, I do agree with that, because it does feel like for instance, Billy and Ashleigh, we kind of saw their story unfold through every pod episode, but then all of a sudden, like Jed and Barta, they came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, this seems like a new entry. And then even Katisha, she came in a little later down the episode lineup. So I do agree with that. Give us a little bit of everybody so we could just see potentially what were some of the other couples. And then also too, like everybody has invested into the experience. So I feel like the least you could do is allow everybody's story somewhat to be told through the seasons, even if they don't make it out of the pod. So yeah, it would be nice, and it would make it just more interesting,
Yeah, I did like that the couples themselves did seem to be good matches. Like when they matched, I was like, I was feeling them all pretty much. I liked all of them.
I was cool with most of them, and then we got to the end of episode 4.
Most of them.
When we got to the end, because I was like, okay, like I was like, oh man, I need to tell everybody go to the UK and find a man, because this is the second season where we ain't dealing with too much BS when it comes to the guys, But
they did.
When we got to the end of episode 4, I was like, hold up now. Hold up. I might have spoken too soon.
Yeah, no. And then also remember last season when there was a couple that got married and then they came back to the reunion and it was like, boom, we not together no more. I can't remember their names, but it was like he wasn't trying to do like live in her city or something like that, or go back and forth, and he didn't put the time in and blah blah blah. So they got divorced before the reunion even came up. So yeah, that's that. Any other overall thoughts before we get into the couples?
No, let's go ahead and we can start with Anu and Patrick, since they didn't make it in to outside of the pods. However, they had a lot of camera time. What were your thoughts on these two?
Girl, like I was sitting here because we're kind of crunchy black people. I put that in one of these comments somewhere. I think Anu's comments. I was like, he was crunchier than like we crunchy, and he's crunchier than us. And like I think I'm a little crunchier than you. Like you know what I mean? I do a lot of different things. I haven't put her business out there. My mom hugs trees. Period. Like very crunchy. You know what I'm saying? Very crunchy household. But I'm like, not this. He lost me. Okay, you know what I'm saying? He lost me. He lost me. Like, and it was like I was trying to be there. I was like, okay, like Patrick, all right, let me see. And it was just kept going too far to like out of I knew that face she kept making like. Sitting there, right. I was a little like that, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bit much for me. The thing with, I would say, real crunchy folks is like it just gets into this very. I am superior to you because of this knowledge that I have. I have done so much work, so I have this like inner all-knowing thing. And Patrick, to me, I was like, boy, your spleen got you in, it got you out, it got you in, it got you out. It don't sound like you got too much direction. And it was something about the way that he said, like, I believe in multiple things. And I grew up in a Christian household. Mm-hmm. And so seeing, like, I could see and, like, almost know. I was like, I knew I'm here with you. Like, I know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she was like, you call it your splenic, whatever. I call it the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm, but when he said, like, I believe in multiple things, as soon as he said that, I was like, this isn't going to work because Anu seems very grounded in her spirituality and her faith, right? And so I was like, although there are lots of people who coexist with different beliefs, right? And they make it work and it works out. It's like y'all are on two very opposite ends of the spectrum. And in that preview, when Anu was like, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. I was like, I know a church choir girl when I sing one. And I was like, baby, I know this ain't gonna work. I know
That's
this ain't
hilarious.
gonna work. I was like, she finally singing for his ass, and it's not the way he wants her to be singing, okay?
Right.
Yeah, but definitely I was like, yeah, nah, wrap this up. And then also too, when he was talking about, getting guidance from other people, and she was like, I really listened to my mom, and he was like, oh no, I'm not with that. I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Like, come on now. And I feel like when you have parents that you can depend on, that I think there's a lot of people sometimes who, if they don't come from a very healthy household that was full of love, they can't comprehend the fact that they would want or seek guidance from their parents and that they trust in their parents knowing about things. If my daddy were to tell me something right now, I'm going to listen, point blank, period. That man's discernment is at a level I can't understand and I am not at. So I'm going to listen to whatever inner wisdom he can impart on me, right? And so if somebody were to tell me, oh, if you do that, that means that you're not strong within yourself and your identity, and you can't make decisions for yourself.
Baby, you lost.
Yeah, you're the lost one. You're the lost one. Don't be mad at me for being rooted in community. And I thought when she said that he would have liked that, because it shows that there's a family value there, that there is a good, hopefully healthy relationship. Like, Anu is sitting here asking you very great questions. Like, she doesn't seem like she's empty-headed. So you see she got a good head on her shoulders. She know what she's talking about. She seems like somebody who has a strong identity. I'm like, this ain't it. This is not it, brother.
Yeah, no, I would have loved to see the full tape of their conversations from the moment when things started falling off the rails, because it lost me just a little bit, because in my mind, I was like, the same as you, like when I heard him talk about, I believe in multiple things, and she asked, well, I'm a Christian, how does that fit in? I wrote down, like, girl, he hasn't actually answered the question of how it fits in.
He did not answer the question.
He didn't answer it at all. And so it's like you said, it's no right or wrong. It's like whatever, does this work is the question. Is it going to work together? And so I would have thought that would have given her some like compatibility red flags. And since it didn't, I was like, okay, what else? I mean, she's in it. She's in for like exploring it more. In that session where she was kind of just like making all the faces and he was like sensing the disconnection, I was like, exactly what was it that got you this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Overall, as a whole, like, I just think it was just it was a little bit much. I don't know if like the splenic thing and like the community thing. I was just like, I specifically like did one of these like Scooby Doo like what are you talking about? You listen to yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are all intertwined. Like, you wouldn't even know what the back of your head looks like, or like what you look like if you didn't have like a mirror, and other people serve as the mirrors to like reflect back to you. Like, what am I looking at it like at this angle? What am I looking like at that angle? How should I proceed in life? And it doesn't mean that you just get lost in their expression of what you should do, but it means that you stay grounded enough in yourself to have discernment about what advice works for me and what doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
And so overall, I was just like, who? And he had them tattoos. Like, yeah. I was like, he was looking
they
like
look good.
I actually think they look good at all.
I thought they were very well done. Yeah, I thought they were very well done.
I'm not a tattoo person, not that much. It was a lot. He looked like a reptile to me, like all on the legs. And he had that. He said, "You gonna see this?" He had a V-neck, no shirt. Right. You gonna see my star, sun, whatever it is. You know, maybe it's like done. Radiating from the spleen through his stomach. I don't know. But
I like well done tattoos on dark skinned black men. I think they look very nice. But what I was also gonna say too about like the whole spirituality thing and the way that he was presenting it just seemed like he needs someone or he would be better. I don't want to say needs, but he would be better with a woman that he could coach. And Anu is not a woman you could coach. And it seems like that's what he wants. He wants to be able to like impart all this knowledge and spiritual wisdom that he has on his partner. And it can give controlling, I think, if it goes too far south. I
see it being controlling if he did it, but he wasn't giving to me that that's what he wanted. He just was giving to me that he wanted someone to be like on the same like vibe as he was. And
I don't know, when he was like so you don't listen to yourself, like the whole mama thing, that really threw me off. Like that threw me off. That was giving, we're gonna have to make some changes.
Yeah, he was just, I don't know. To me, he was just giving misguided. Like some people are so like I wrote down somewhere that like, he seems like the person who will be susceptible to a cult. Not trying to say nothing, but you know, I definitely believe that. It just gives that like he could like a love and light. Yeah. Seeming
love
cult.
and light, and I believe in a lot of things. And there's nothing wrong with believing in a lot of things, but when you're having a very direct conversation about your beliefs, I think it's important to say, I specifically believe in X, Y, and Z.
What you mean?
Because it wasn't really, well, you know, when she's like, okay, I'm just saying in that conversation, you know, like when you're talking about general beliefs and how you live your life and what you use to guide you. You know, I think spleen, being able to say something,
he said it's spleen. If that didn't, like, I was like, girl, I was like, not getting broken up by a man who uses, I have to follow my spleen, and like the same sentence as him breaking up with you. This is why you gotta, like, when he first said that, that's when you gotta step away. But
I want this to be my screenshot on the cover. Let's move on. Let's go on to Katisha and her man child. Katisha and Javen, Katisha and Demola. Yeah. Who'd you like better?
I like Javen better, but it's just because of the toxic. He's not toxic. I'm not trying to call him toxic, but it's like this non like healthy looking, like I don't even know what to say. I just know I like Javen best, and it's not because he seemed like he was giving healthy communication to the homegirl. I just liked him best, and I think that's what she did too. I think she just said, I just like him best, and I think a lot of things go with the fact that he's a little bit of an avoidant. He's not vulnerable. Like he was not, I felt like that. He wasn't giving her expressing how he felt. And I was just like, oh my God, Javen, you're about to lose this girl. And because you're not communicating how you feel. She's not asking you to do a pony dance for her, right. You know? She's just asking you to make it clear how you feel about her. But I think there's something, because I've dated men like him, have had very extensive relationships with men like him, who are kind of not the most like free flowing with their emotions or how they feel about you. And there's something about that, I think, that is not good, because it's like, if you want to receive love in that way, like someone to be clear and communicative with you, it's gonna be always dripping drops. It's never gonna be a full glass, pouring into you. However, on the flip side, the reason why I think it's so attractive for women is that, like, there's something about it that is very masculine. It's not like flowy and wishy-washy. It's very structured, and it's like, you're not about to knock me off of my square. This is how this is where I am. This is how I feel. And so I think that's attractive, but it's like, you need to have this other piece. Like, men need to be in their masculine and in their feminine. And like, when they can balance both, it's the best. It's like when they can be structured and not be like all, wishy-washy and like, what am I trying to say? Like, just too like, oh, I'm just yours, whatever you want, I'm just yours. It's like, don't be a
Demola,
punk. You gotta be a little. I'm not trying to call Demola a punk at all.
Well, he wasn't a punk, but he was the opposite.
He was a little, he was a little heavier on that end. But it's like, you need that, like, for men, I think if you're looking for like a more masculine man, you do want some of that structure. But the problem with men, period, when they lean more into that masculinity, is they are not tapping into that feminine energy that they need. We all need both, and they need to be able to express their emotions. But when they're able to do both, and they're able to have that structure, and boom, have that understanding of their emotions and vulnerability to be able to give you that, oh, it's the best. And so I think I think that's part of what happened with him. So that's my little story.
Yeah, I was thinking multiple things, because I did write down, there is like a quiet strength and masculinity about Javen, so I could see where the pull is, right? Like, when you hear somebody say, like, I don't feel like this is a setting that is necessary to do X, Y, and Z, and like, I can tell you how I feel, but what is that going to do for you? I could see where she's like, what do I make of this? Because I was like, what is this exactly, right? And then on the opposite end, you got Demola giving you the reassurance, doing the gestures, and like saying I'm all in. And it's very clear that Katisha has some struggles with being able to accept love. She said it. She said, like, I've never had this before. So I don't know. So on one end, I'm like, is it this quiet but like strong masculinity that Javen is displaying that is why she chose him? Or is it Demola is so far from what she's used to, and she's okay with a little bit of chase that she had to do with Javen as to why she chose Javen over Demola? I do also think too, it was something about Demola that she just wasn't like vibey with, because I wrote down, it's very clear she wants to be with you, Javen, but you're just not giving her the reassurance that she is looking for. She wants you right now to show up the way Demola just did, so that she could choose you. And then I was also like, what is this? When he was like, I think I'll just stay and have a drink, I said, oh, is this about to be a game? And then when she played back, I said, oh, game over, my guy. Game over. Demola, you have lost. This girl
I know
came in with the intentions of breaking up with this.
I know. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, oh my God. I paused the screen twice. Like, when he said, I think I'll just have a drink, I was like, hold up. Okay. And then when she said, I mean, I guess I'll enjoy my drink too, I said, this is staying at the bar when you got a man at home with your ex. Like, that's what this is right
literally,
here. You're at the bar.
Literally. No, but it was every breakup scene, right? Like, oh, I don't want you to go.
I know.
Like, oh, I'm going to miss you. Like, let me just get one more kiss. Let me just get one more hug. I was like, oh, Javen know what he doing. He know what he doing. He's some type of marketer or something.
Is
based on his Instagram. Yeah. So I was like,
interesting.
He might know. But based on the previews,
I don't even remember what the previews did. What
for the next drop, he was talking to Sophia.
Oh,
or Sophie, and it seemed like they was having a little back and forth. I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah, and then somebody got upset or with him.
Yeah.
Who was that? Somebody had some words for him. Oh, it was one of the other couples. We gotta look back at it, but I know what you're talking about. It was like a little. He had some drama. They had some drama, and so it's interesting.
Right.
It's so many things. Like that scene right there, I paused it, like I said, and then the second time when he was like, "Do you want me to read you what I wrote in my journal or whatever?"
My notes.
Yes, my notes. I was like, oh my God, it's about to be over. But I'm gonna say them notes was whack as hell. I'm like, bruh, I thought we was about to get real good notes. I thought he was gonna be like, she makes my heart melt. It was like them notes as whack as his expressions to her, his expressions of love. He needs to step it up. I don't think that's just like, oh, this is just the way I am. It's like, yeah, no, that I think is a lack of vulnerability. People need to experience your love. And so when y'all are through a wall, you can do something like speak it. And I think every day, like, even if you're not through a wall, speaking your love, it doesn't have to be like, I love you, I love you, I love you every second, but you need to verbalize it. I don't think that's like, oh, I'm just not that type of person. No, you need to get in touch with why you are not being vulnerable in that way. Because that's all it is. Because he kept saying, even when he was like, oh, I'm not going to give her until she proposed. I said, boy, you better be glad you was about to get off my list. You was about to get off my good list.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, what is this?
But he also said too, but he also said too, like, I'm not doing the gestures and all that stuff. And so I think, I forgot who it was, Dr. Bryant.
Okay.
She was like, you chose this man in the form that he showed you, right? And so I hope that Katisha does not go into this experience now thinking like, okay, as he opens up, he'll do more. No, he's showing you right now. He's telling you right now how he is going to show up. And there are, of course, there are guys out there who start a certain way and fall off. They don't do what they did to keep a girl. And so maybe there's something with that for her as well. But he's telling you right now, he ain't finna do the romantic gestures. He's not about to be super open and vulnerable with you. And so you finna get what you got, girl, what you chose. And we have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but at the same time, I think that it's okay for her to expect him to do a little bit better, but not like, or like, try to speak what she wants to him in whatever relationship continued after that, but also understanding that she chose who she chose. I think it's like, both. It's like she chose who she chose,
but I'm also saying this in mind with that preview, like that preview is now it's like it's completely shifted my perspective of it. He was flirting with Sophie, talking about how far do you stay and you're a naughty one or something like that. Like, it was too much.
So when I listened to it, it did seem like he was like he and he was too close, but it didn't necessarily seem like it had to be a bad thing. It could have just been like, where do you stay? Like, what side of town are you on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I would ask somebody that, like, and not, I mean, it's not like
they do chop and screw, but
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Demola, like, any thoughts on him specifically? Because we did spend a lot of that time talking about Javen.
I really like that he said that he spent a lot of time with his grandmother. I thought that was really cute, and I felt like that kind of like it kind of shaped his the way he approached conversations to me, like in this very like gentle and just like kind spirit. And so I hope he has found someone. He seems like a great guy. I was really sad for him. But he is probably not going to bring that fire and possibly like back and forth, a little bit of fight that Katisha possibly could be looking for. I
don't think she's looking for a fight. I just think that there's something about Demola that wouldn't have been attractive to me either, but she seemed to go so far in the process that something about him was attractive to her. But like, I think there's something like I think they need to blend. Demola and Javen need to learn a little bit from each other. Man. To be honest, yes, like it's like he leans a little bit into his like feminine energy to me a little bit more than he should necessarily. I didn't see enough, at least from what they showed of him, because I didn't see enough of like some of like his more structured self. He was giving a little bit more like very in touch with his feminine energy, which is perfect. It's just got to be balanced. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be balanced with, I think, the masculine energy as well. And I think that Javen leaned too much into that masculine energy, and I think it's not balanced. And so it's just like they're both kind of like frustrating versions of like what could be potentially really great guys. And not saying that they're not great guys in themselves. I'm just saying like like they could be ideal. You know what I mean? They could be ideal, both of them in their own right.
Well, when I say fight, I'm saying in terms of what Katisha said she was used to, right? And her not even necessarily being able to put into words why she liked Javen more than Demola. Like when it came to
that masculinity thing,
it could be, it could be. But Demola, she did say when he was doing all of that, she was kind of like, it seemed like she was asking herself, like, is she deserving of it? Like, is it real? And questioning that somebody could treat her very nicely. And so that's what I mean by kind of like that fire, because she described Javen as mysterious. And so I feel like that mystery is what kind of pulled her that way a little bit.
I mean, I definitely think she would have more fun with Javen. I definitely think that. Like, I think sometimes, like, what's force-fed to us as women is that, like, if you're not picking the guy who's just being nice to you and showering you with all these things, then you're picking wrong. And it's like, no, there is an element of like being nice to me and giving me, treating me well is literally just one component of compatibility and attraction and all these other things. And it's like, absolutely, I am deserving of more than just the guy who treats me well. Like, that's the floor. Okay. Come on. Like, do you make me laugh? Okay. Do you can we talk about politics and like, are you intelligent? Like, how do there's so much more, and it's not just that somebody being nice. And I'm not saying that's all Demola gave, but I think sometimes what, to me, her that fight or whatever that she was warring within herself is just this like, oh, look at this guy, he does all these things. But it's like, ultimately, it's kind of like you gotta like filter, it's just like a field test. It's like they got to hit on like a lot of different cylinders, and they have to have enough of the nice and enough of the gestures that, you just got to feel it out. What's the total package? And I just feel like she kind of went with her gut on that, Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, let's go into Sorover and Cal. They seem like they were really hitting it off. Him saying that he usually likes white girls, blonde hair, blue eye, that just threw me all the way out. I was like, girl, I wanted to be like, run for the hills, baby, because you can't compete with that. Like, watching these dating shows on Black Girls Talking TV, and everybody is like blonde, brunette, my preference, blonde, brunette, I'm like, this is a world I don't understand, baby. I'm like, do I like Caesar? Do I like locks? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this whole blonde, brunette, but I would assume it's a big thing for a reason. And so you liking a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman.
Yeah. And I do want to say, on the part when you said we can't compete with that, flesh that out a little bit more, because I know what you meant, but I know the people might have taken that like, you can compete with them. Flesh that out a little bit more, because it's
the audience, you should know what we're talking about, but to make it clear, let me make it plain. I am not saying that they are superior. I am saying when it comes to a white beauty standard, baby, we are far from it. Her as an Indian woman is far from it. And I think also too, when you add in this idea of challenges with race, and I don't know the history of their backgrounds, but it is difficult if you are looking at this as your standard type of woman. Everything else is far from that. Everything else is very diverse. Everything else is more bodacious. Everything else is more flavorful. So that is what I mean when I say you can't. Competes.
Like, Europe has colonized the world, and the European beauty standard has infiltrated across so many societies. And it's like, when you clearly can see that, it's like you recognize that is all that it is. It's literally just a Eurocentric beauty standard that is being adopted, and people are not having a diverse beauty standard because they've been kind of like conditioned to believe in one thing. So anyway, that's that. But I did want to hop on before we got into them for real, is him all up in Katisha's face, because we were just talking about Demola and them. I was like, how you going to be all in his face and sit her down for a conversation? I'm like, first of all, sir.
I'm like, are you Demola's spokesperson? Are you his assistant? Are you his heartthrob? What is going on here? The nerve. I'm like, it's none of your, I wanted Katisha to be like, quite frankly, it's none of your business.
Right. I thought she was going to, because she was close to that. She was like, yeah, do it for you. Like, it's like, I could tell with her face that she was like, what how is this any of your business? Like, first of all, not only that, but to pull me, like, we ain't even in casual conversation. You pull me to the side for a side conversation to talk to me about what your boys are. It's like, bruh, you doing too much. So back to them, Sarover and Cal. I thought, looking at the pictures and looking at him initially in the pods, I was like, oh, he's the most attractive. Like, I thought he was, generally the most attractive. But then when he did, real? I don't know. I didn't notice anything different with the eyes as much as you did. But what color were they?
They looked like they was blue or something. They was throwing me off. Were they
blue? Now, if they were, I'd be like, bro, okay, first of all,
I'm sitting here like,
come on, can we address
blue eyes? You like white women. You over here asking 1,000 times, will Sarover's family accept you? Who is the problem? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. What you trying to chase, brother? What you trying to... I don't know. Let me not put that on him. But
yeah, no. When they had the reveal, right? And they saw each other. And also, we need to go back and talk about Katisha and Javen's reveal in a moment. But when they had the reveal and they saw each other, I was like, he's doing a lot of this. Like his eyes are so big and his smile is so, it's kind of like freaky. Like, I was like, dang, blink, like he's doing a lot. But they were not a couple that I was super loving, but I did think that they had some good bonds. I loved hearing Sarover's story about, or not loved, but I got emotional hearing Sarover's story about her parents divorcing. I was just like, I was getting emotional all through the episodes, though, to be honest. But yeah, anything on them that you have left?
He had an emotional story too, talking about his brother and addiction and things like that. And so I thought that because of all of like the struggles that they had, that they were going to be a really good match for each other. Just seems like two people who really had to, go through a lot to be firmly rooted in who they are and breaking away from like, traditions and superficial ideas of how you live your life in certain cultures. But as soon as he said he liked white girls, I was like, child, we just gonna have to wait and see. Cause that's it. That's literally that's it. That's all for them. But
because it's like that's a choice, like to have like an Asian woman, right? Like, that's what's all around you probably growing up, unless you just grew up all around white people. Like, if you grew up all around white people, then sometimes it's not per se like this choice, right? Because you may just be like, you just, that's all you see all the time. And so you go, that's what you, but if you grew up in a community, is he Pakistani? Or he's Indian? Which one was Indian?
I don't know if he said Lebanese. No, that was Jed.
I thought he was
Pakistani. Yeah, Pakistani. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but whichever one he is, if he grows up in any kind of community that it's almost like a rejection of your community to be like, I choose this, other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, blue eyes, if they're contacts, you got blue eyes, you are choosing to be with a white people. There are people who like to they want to be very far from
their own
anything that they are used to. And I don't want to put that on him, but if this is where we are going, if this is the trajectory that we are seeing, like if we were to make an assessment, that's just what it feels like, that you are not comfortable in your cultural identity, especially with him kind of like asking several times. And there is something to asking, like, will your parents be okay with you bringing me home? I think that is a valid question when you're talking about racial lines and history and things like that. But again, when you put that with his preference, and then if these, I got to keep going back to these damn contacts, because I'm like, why the hell your eyes so blue? Those things together makes me feel like
I gotta look back. I didn't even see that they were blue. I didn't see they were blue at all, but I will look back at them if they are. I'm gonna be like, Lord.
Like,
But yeah, do
trying
we
to
want
erase the culture?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do we want to hop back into the reveal? Oh, the only thing I want to say about the reveal of Javen and Katisha. I didn't like that he didn't have a suit on. I'm like, bruh, you getting engaged, bruh. Put on a
too
suit.
Cool for school.
I know. But anyway, fast forward. Next couple. Who's next?
The effort. It's not there. Alrighty, let's go. Let's go into Kieran, and he ultimately chose Magean, but he was going back and forth between Magean and Sophie. This is another one I felt like Kieran really wanted to like Sophie more. I feel like he was feeling like the spunky banter in the very beginning with Sophie. She was kind of, fiery, and I think he liked that. Mm-hmm. But she would not get vulnerable and open up. And ultimately, Magean, she rose to the occasion. And that was that. What did you think about him giving Magean the gift, and then Sophie's reaction to that?
So I didn't think that was that big of a deal, but at the same time, he seemed to know. I don't know. I feel like he seemed to know it was going to be, he was like, I think that's for me or whatever. But I wouldn't have expected him giving her that gift. Like, I feel like a lot of people have given each other gifts. Like, Ashleigh, we'll get to them in a little bit, but Ashleigh gave Billy like a gumball or whatever from where.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
A thimble or thumble.
Oh,
something like
okay,
that.
okay.
When you're sewing, you put on your finger. Yeah.
Oh, the sew thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was So when Ashleigh gave him the thimble, I really just thought like, this is what people do. They give little tokens and things like that. I mean, I guess he could have clarified a little bit more that he was pulling in a different direction with Sophie, but I feel like he was clear enough when he said that I don't feel like we're getting deeper and stuff like that. Like, and she pulled out the story about her mom and that situation. And, I feel like, I guess she would have felt like, oh, we're going closer towards a good direction. But at the same time, like, that's kind of your warning that there's like a little bit of, hesitation here. And so I thought her reaction was a little bit of an overreaction, to be honest.
Agreed.
And I didn't feel like he, like, even the way she came back and was like, I think he's telling me the same things he's telling you. You don't know what he's telling
girl,
her.
Like, don't be trying to get up in that connection head, because you're not getting what you want out of the situation. And clearly, I think Sophie, she operates like somebody who expects to just get what she wants, right? And like she said, I go into dates with interview questions. She did the same thing in the pods, and I think she feels like, because of her looks, that when she expresses interest in a guy, that they just kind of fold, and it is what it is. It clearly is not working for her, but I think she's used to this kind of system in her dating life. And then, like, she was mentioning a lot of superficial things, like, I want a nice car. She kept saying, like, guys, they usually like me because of my looks, and and then when Kieran was trying to make like a little physical connection with her, like see if there was any physical intimacy there, she kind of shut that down and was like, no worries, you'll be satisfied. So you can just tell Sophie, she play a lot of games. There's something to being interested more than trying to be interesting when you are getting to know somebody, but at the same time, that doesn't, the way she was doing doesn't lend itself to reciprocity in a relationship, which ultimately I feel like is probably why she's single. So
like, I did not like her referencing her looks so much. It was like she was like, don't worry, you'll be like, she said some things, I wrote them down, I ain't got them now, but but she said some things like, like he would have no problem, or on the outside world he'd be able to see that, or something. She kept alluding to the fact that she looks good. And then also when she was talking about like, I just self-sabotage, and I don't know if it's like, she kept calling what she does self-sabotaging, and I don't personally like that term, because I feel like often when it's used, it's literally just kind of like a catch-all term. It's not accurate, because I think it stops the person from doing the work of like discovering what is actually happening, because you're not self-sabotaging. What's happening is that you're not being vulnerable, and you're afraid to be seen. And so you need to work on
being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so there is no self-sabotage. The self-sabotage is when you do not
Literally.
it's not even self-sabotage. Like I would say, when you do not work on that underlying issue, but it's not even self-sabotage because you're not trying to do it purposely. It's just difficult to be vulnerable. Right. And that's the problem. It's not self-sabotage in my view. It's just difficult to be vulnerable. Same thing with Javen. Like, it's difficult. Yeah. The reason why you don't do it is because it's difficult. It makes you feel open. It makes you feel exposed. I was not clear on I'm someone, I will say that I don't feel like I've ever had a huge issue with like self-worth or feeling enough, right? So it's harder for me to resonate with those things. So when she was saying that, I was wondering where that comes from. But I was like, I have a very loving mother. And so maybe that's something that's a wound that comes from somebody who doesn't have a very loving mother, because I'm like, where does this come from? She kept saying that I'm afraid that if I open up that I won't be enough. And it's like, how can you not be enough? Like, whatever.
Well, she wasn't chosen at a very young age from her mother. She said that her mom went and got remarried and chose her second husband over her as her daughter. And so I'm sure that has fostered a lot of pain, a lot of abandonment, a lot of not feeling chosen. Yeah, I mean, it looks different for different people, but she mentioned it. So I feel like there is something to that. It's probably a lot more to it than just what she expressed, right? Like, that's probably just what she's comfortable with saying, but I'm sure the story goes a lot deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think that that's where her work is, I guess. That's more of like, it's hard for me to understand how the whole is like, how it doesn't, like, once you become an adult, it goes away. But I understand it, and I know you as a psychologist understand it even more. But like, I understand it. But yeah, that's where her work is, I feel like. And I feel like once she deals with those things, like, she's a beautiful girl, she's gonna have no problem. You know what I'm saying? She was probably the only one whose photo was like, she's like, is it the photographer or is it you? Because in any angle, I'm hitting it,
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. But yeah, it's responsibility. I think a lot of people feel like if they have this awareness, like she said something that alluded to, what she said, like a cow or something, which I take that as like people just think she's like a bitch. Like, that's their first that's their first impression of her.
A thesaurus of like the British terms.
Right. I'm gonna assume that's what that meant. But I was just like, just because you are aware of it, right? Like, you are aware that you give off this impression, you are aware that you have these challenges. It is not an excuse to keep doing it. It doesn't make you a better person to just be like, oh, it's just me, like, accept it as it is. Like, if you love me, you'll just take it. It's like, no, be a better person because you want to be treated better. You want to treat others better. Like, work on those things. When you see that the interactions that you're having, the mirror that is being held up is showing you this does not work to have a healthy social life. Like, it's not cool to just keep saying like, it is what it is. And so that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way with her. But I think Kieran and Magean are cute. I'm excited for them. I think out of all of the actual couples, they are my favorite right now. I am rooting for them the hardest. I feel like they are my only absolute yes.
Oh, really? You're right. They are my only absolute yes. I was about to say I have more, but I was like, no, actually, they are my only absolute yes. Yeah, I love them so much. I thought they were great, and it's so funny. Like, Magean, they did her wrote dirty on them pictures, because even she looks better to me on the show than she does on her Instagram. Because when we did the post, I was trying to find pictures.
10 out of 10. I was like, she's beautiful.
And it's like she has a very lively spirit, a very lively energy.
She's very radiant.
Just feels like she's just in love with life. You know what I mean? It just gives that she is, I mean, I haven't seen her more. We got to see her more, but she just laughing a lot. She laughs at herself. I'm someone who laughs at myself a lot, and I'm like, I see like her energy of like really enjoying her time, and I resonate with that, and so I like her. Any other thoughts about them? Any thoughts about Kieran specifically, and like how you feel about him.
I like Kieran, and I actually love the way that he handled that conversation with Sophie. It was given like, okay, girl, like you're not about to come in here, and I apologize that I hurt you. I feel bad that I hurt you. At the end of the day, I'm going through this process. I forgot exactly what she said, but she was like, that was rude. And I was like, it's the truth, honey. Like, what
and
did
it
you
wasn't
expect?
rude. I was
it
like,
wasn't rude at all.
Rude.
Yes. Yeah. Like, you're not used to somebody telling you no. Like you kept saying, I'm not used to rejection. Feel it, baby. You need to feel it. Get that rejection sensitivity up.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's all I have for them. Like I said, excited for them.
Yeah. One thing I did like about Kieran, I liked his discernment, like his ability to just kind of sense that it wasn't all the way there with Sophie, and just really sense that like there is something, you know, very vibrant and that I enjoy about Megan. And then their connection, they just, when they saw each other, their reveal, I was like even in love with them more. I'm like, look, I'm like, bruh.
This is how a reveal is supposed to go. Just run into each other's arms. I absolutely loved it. Yes. It was that's what it was. It was, he said, he said something to the fact that he did not regret giving Megan the gift. Like he didn't expect for her to react, you know, to feel some type of way. Of course he thought about it, but it's like he went with his heart. It was something to that effect. And I was like,
no, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when he was talking to Sophie.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I was just like, but this is just an experiment. You know, it's just an experience, and it's an experiment that he just connected with someone more than the other person. That's why, like, the same with Katisha and this Demola and Javen thing. There's nothing bad about like how she interacted with Demola. Now, Demola has every right, like when she did tell him that I'm not changing my mind, like he has every right. We didn't talk about that, but he had every right to feel how he felt, for sure. But it doesn't change the facts that she felt for someone else more, and that's it. It just has to take the cake every time you're spending your life with someone. It's not about sparing your feelings. Do you want someone to spare your feelings, or you want them to choose you because they choose you? You know. So yeah. Anything else on them before we move on?
Nope. Let's go ahead and head into Billy and Ashleigh. We saw their connection from the very beginning. It seems like for Netflix, this is their leading couple because of the way that they were shown throughout these first 4 episodes. I think the biggest takeaway I had, I do like them. I like them. They give like mom and dad energy a little bit. But one thing I was thinking is, Ashleigh, are you going to be a people pleaser and kind of like redirect your life based on what Billy wants? I think that was like my main thing with that. Like, I'm not too sure what's happening there with that and her being a flight attendant and stuff like that. Like, there's so many, I feel like being a flight attendant is a very flexible job. You just ask for, you know, less hours or less time in the air, you know, or you take trips where you're coming back home every night. Like, there's so many ways to flip that into, especially if you've been with the airline for as long as you have. And I have several flight attendants in my life. I just feel like you can make a relationship work. It doesn't have to be this end all be all that Billy is making it. And so I hope that this connection does not lead her to missing out on what she wants for her life.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. They were not my favorite couple, like, but I think it's just because I'm not a huge fan of Billy's personality. I do like Ashleigh's personality. Thing. Yeah, I do like Ashleigh's personality though. Like, I'm a giggly girl. I like giggly girls. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, she's very bubbly and she laughs a lot, and she's a little bit more bubbly than Morgan in that respect, but she just seems like she enjoys life. And so I really liked her. And I saw the same thing you kind of highlighted about, like, is she bending? Because she redirected that thing when he came in there and was just like, I'm ready to end it because I've dated cabin crew. And I was like, what? She already said before he even came in there and ended it or tried to end it, she said that she said something to the effect of like, different she would things. Figure it out. Yeah. She said something, but I guess she got more specific after he brought it up again, but she'd already said it. And so I was like, I don't get where this is going, you know? And it also gave me like lack of vision. Like something on his part, like lack of vision, like, you know, like you've seen Sinners where he's like, ain't got no vision. Vision. But But like I'm like, how do you not see that there can be like, do you not see her
multiple ways?
Yeah. And like, do you not see her? Like, if she is for you, it's like, do you not see her and think this? We got to figure this out. Okay, we're going to figure it out. Like, or like, so I don't like that aspect of it. And so
it gave that he has a very like he has a very structured way, or like a very rigid way of how he feels like the future should look, and that's what makes me afraid for Ashleigh, because she has a very like go with the flow and let's just figure it out, and sure, if this is what I gotta do. She feels very compromising, and somebody like Billy, how he's coming off, I feel like can take advantage of that, not purposefully, right? But like he could take advantage of that and be like, this is how I want it, and because she wants the love, she's gonna lean into whatever experience he wants to have and not what she wants. And so I really don't want that for her. But the military thing I wrote down for the both of them, because she was talking about how she was ready to polish his boots and stuff. I was like, I feel like liking the military is a character trait. Like, what is that?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yeah. But
cadets. Yes, I did that too.
Yeah. No, I raised my hand just a second ago because I was like, I've been that girl, and I'm not even a type of person who's like, I'm not a pushover type of woman, but I'm accommodating, and I'm like, I work to make it work. And so when you have somebody, I've been with somebody who's very structured, and you don't realize how much you're giving because they aren't. And you're like, oh, well, I'm making, so I fear for that for her as well. Any other thoughts about them? I was like, they kind of like a little, they did a little okey pokey, cowgirl, cowboy dance. I'm like,
oh yeah. They just like a little. This was fun, but yeah.
I was like that.
Like, you like it, I love it, baby. You like it, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and move into Barda and Jed. I didn't really have too many thoughts about them. Jed, I felt like he was coming off pretty strong from like day one. So that was the only thing where I was like, what is going on here? But he sounds, keyword sounds, like someone who is truly ready to be in a marriage. He used a lot of we's and us and things like that in his conversation, which I do think is worth noting and mentioning. But yeah, those are like my only thoughts for them so far.
Yeah, I thought they were very cute. They do seem like they're part of the crew of couples that might have issues in the preview. I'm not entirely sure. He definitely seems like he could also be a little in the controlling side, like maybe Billy, but in a different way. Like Billy just seems more structured.
Well, he's a Habibi.
Huh?
He's a Habibi, Jed. He's Lebanese.
Oh my God.
Did you didn't watch Love is Blind, Habibi? You did not watch Love is Blind, girl. The Habibis be on it, baby. They like, this is what I said.
No, I didn't. Yeah. But he's giving like very structured, even like the way when you said like he was just like, he came on strong. It's like he's setting like, no, we're when we have kids, he's setting the agenda early. It sounds nice, but he's setting the agenda early. And I think that's part of what we see in the preview. It's like, there's a little bit of like, I don't know, something in that vein of like controlling this or whatever.
Yeah, but I will say, I think for a lot of Middle Eastern countries, right, like especially after watching Habibi, you could tell like honor and like leading a family is a value that is set within their culture, and it happens in a very specific way. And so that is what I kind of see in January. Like for me as a Black American, I can feel like it looks like it's coming on too strong, but for them and their culture, like that is how they show up. Like, because everybody in Love is Blind Habibi was like, us, our kids. I said it, so you need to listen.
Yeah.
Like,
and I can resonate with that. Like with the way I've grown up, my parents, all of their friends, they're just like, they've been together forever. They come holidays, different things like that, get-togethers. There's this expectation that this is how we do things. Y'all need to be married. Is he this? Is he that? Like all the aunties, everybody's asking all the specific questions. And so I do think that the way I desire to have like a family run it's been ingrained in me. And so like I find that partners are always like, this, like, you guys have this whole way you do things and how you operate, and it's very different than what I grew up in. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm following this way. So, like, they think it's heavy-handed, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's just a different upbringing. But yeah, so moving on, let's rank the couples really quickly and then get to predictions about who we think will marry. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but who are your top to favorite to least favorite?
So my favorite is Kieran and Magean at the top, and I definitely think they are going to get married. After that, it would have to probably be
Katisha and Javen. They're my second favorite. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I like Katisha and Javen quite yet. Okay. I do think there is something to the fact that they're both in this space of, like, I'm not going to say I love you. Like, I want to make sure this is going to work. I find a lot of value in that for the both of them. But yeah, I gotta see a little bit more. I feel like the rest of them are. It's like Katisha and Javen, Barda and Jen, and then it's Sarover. Them two together, and then Sarover and Cal, and then Billy and Ashleigh, and then Sarover and Cal. Like, that is kind of like my lineup. And the only people I can say I definitely think are going to get married is Kieran and Magean.
No, I would agree with that as well. And I will say, like, part of me was thinking about this Katisha and Javen thing. I was like, you know what? Sometimes, like, one of my flaws is I will see, like, the potential. And I see a potential in Javen. And it's like, but the reality of what we've seen, it's not been, like, anything above, like, a good 7. You know, a 7 out of 10, you know, in terms of, like, potential, and maybe even a 6, you know? But
because I really, because I'm like, there is something to the fact that reality that Javen did not want to give. Like, I have not seen him give. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't want to be the first to really, like, lay his cards out on the table. He's willing. He waited until he saw that Demola was finna wrap that thing up to go in there and be like, you know what, play the games, I'm gonna go ahead and take my drink, and so there is something to it that I'm just kind of like, it's a little flutter that I'm just not really
I agree
digging with Javen. Like, I really do want to like him because he seems so lovely and so lively and bubbly and fun, which I think he would make a great partner, but I'm not for the games that it seems like he is also, that he also has the potential to play.
No, that's real. Okay. Well, any closing thoughts? Anything?
No, I think we covered everything. The next drop comes out, I think, in about a week. So make sure you catch us for that. Drop in your comments your thoughts. What did we forget? Y'all love to tell us what we ain't talk about. Tell us, let us know. And we will catch you for the next couple set of episodes. Again, follow us on Black Girls Talking TV on Instagram and TikTok. And please subscribe and share with a friend. And we will catch you for the next one. Bye.
Bye.